Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to do 3 do-it-yourself Disney Halloween costumes. I'm going to show you step by step how we did Tinkerbell, Jasmine, and Ariel. For all 3 costumes, whichever you decide, you will need a thread, needle, scissors, patience, and creativity. The first costume I'll show you how to make is Tinkerbell. Here's everything that you will need to get the Tinkerbell costume started. At any point in this video, if it's going too fast for you, feel free to pause it and read it, and then just push play whenever you're ready to keep going. So let's get started. I'm going to start by doing the top. To begin the top, you're going to lay out your sheer glittery green fabric over top of the corset and measure out how much you think you'll need. To get an accurate measurement, open the corset, undo the lace, and lay it flat with the inside of the corset facing upwards. This gives you the accurate measurement of how much fabric that you'll need. Most corsets, such as this one, have boning in them to give shape. Those lines are what I used as my pattern to know where to sew. So again, to make sure you get clean lines, sew from the inside out. I found it easier to cut right at the edge of the corset and fold over the fabric and then sew it. You want to sew this in pieces and not all consecutively, that way you don't get bubbles and ripples in the corset. This will ensure that your fabric will lay flat against your corset. So as you can see, you can cut off the excess fabric and sew it all at the bottom and also sew up and down the boning. Once you meet the middle or the halfway point, you can cut off the excess and then do the same thing to the other side so it matches up. This is what the front looks like at the halfway point. Once I've repeated my steps, this is the front of the finished product. So cut off any excess material and you can lace up the back so it's ready. This is a skirt that I purchased from the Halloween section in Target. It was actually in the toddler section, but because it's elastic, it did fit me around the waist. Of course, since it's toddler, it wasn't long enough, so I did add a little excess fabric from the corset to the skirt itself as well. If you want to skip this part and just have a tutu, that's up to you. The tutu is very sheer, so I did want the skirt on top, but again, if you don't want that, that's fine as well. I made the tutu out of 3 colored tulle. I used white and 2 colored greens. So all you're going to do to make the tutu is apply all 3 layers of the fabric over top of another. And you're going to cut strips about the length of a ruler from each fabric. Once you use up all the fabric and cut all the strips, you're going to tie them right down the middle over top the elastic. Make sure that each strip is also about 2 inches wide. Once all your little knots are on there, you're going to want to separate them, so pull them apart. Don't tie the knots too tight, then you won't be able to move them on the elastic, and make sure the elastic isn't too tight around your waist as well. So here you can see is the finished product. Next, I'm going to show you how to make Ariel's costume. Here's a list of all the things that you will need for Ariel's costume to get started. So the first thing we're going to do to get started on Ariel's top is paint the seashells. So using a brush and purple paint, just paint right over top the shells. Once the purple paint has dried, we're going to add a ceiling paint right over top, and this has glitter in it to give it a little shimmer. This part can get messy, so make sure you do it over top newspaper. And here you can see are the finished painted shells. Now to get started on the top, we're going to use a strapless bra. And sewing from the inside, just simply sew all over the boning of the bra. And be sure to cut off any extra fabric. Next, you're going to hot glue the shells directly onto the bra. Still using the hot glue gun, you're going to apply jewels and pearls anywhere that you desire. The pattern is completely up to you if you want to do them just on the bra, on the shells as well, whatever you want. And here you can see the finished top. For the skirt, all she did was use a scale patterned, kind of shiny fabric and tied it around her waist. The last costume I'll show you how to make is Jasmine's. And here's a list of everything that you'll need to get Jasmine's costume ready. To get started, you're going to sew from the center of the bra. To get the detail, you're just going to simply create lines by overlaying the fabric over top of each other. That will give the fabric more body than simply just laying it flat. Again, you're going to want to sew well from the inside and cut off any excess fabric, and you're going to apply this all over the boning of the bra. Here you can see on the right side all of the sewing is completed. And this is what the top should look like from the front and back once the fabric is done. So to add the jewel, you're just going to simply get a single jewel with 2 holes in it and sew that on the middle. If you can't find ones with holes in them, then just glue gun it on the middle. To finish the center jewel, you're going to take a gold chain and wrap it around the jewel a few times and then sew it in place. And then once the top is complete, this is what it should look like. To create the headband, we couldn't find an exact jewel that totally resembled hers, so we made our own. Originally, this button was all gold, but we used nail polish and created a blue color in the center and left the gold. Then just to create the headband, put the button over top some thread and tie it in your hair. We decided to make a skirt instead of pants for this, so again, just use the same tulle fabric and tie this around your hips. Now here's everyone on Halloween night all dressed in their costume. It's definitely way more fun to have a bigger group and more characters done. We all got a ton of compliments that night and everybody loved it. If you want to know more information on the rest of these costumes, read this slide. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and it helps you guys maybe for something to do next year. Do-it-yourself costumes I find are way more fun to do and also less expensive. All you need is the time and creativity to make it yourself. Comment below if you have any more questions. Thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.